What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is T.E. Laurence, and today is the first anniversary of this channel. Why, thank you. Therefore, just like my Christmas message and the New Year channel introduction, I will also start another annual tradition called the State of the Channel. Now, I'm actually borrowing this idea from an annual tradition of the United States called the State of the Union, where the president delivers a message around this time of the year to a joint session of our Congress, usually about the current conditions of the nation and the agenda moving forward. And I'm doing something similar by summarizing what I've done in the past year, including my achievements, shortfalls, and agenda for the new year. In other words, I will expand the contents of the channel introduction video in much greater detail. The reason I want to do this is not only to inform you, my audience, but also to give myself a concrete plan to follow through. And also to put all of it on record so I can hold myself up to my promises. Now, since this is my first state of the channel, I guess we should go even further back than 2024 to showcase my whole background. As stated in my 2025 channel introduction video, I am an artist, a storyteller, and recently a YouTuber. Although my YouTube journey began a year from today, my journey as an artist started long before. I've always liked drawing since I was a child, but it was only back in 2017 when I started taking art more seriously before eventually deciding to pursue it as my career. It wasn't easy to pick up a pencil after more than a decade, but I knew deep down the artist within me never went away, so I took the plunge. So after switching my major for the fourth time and graduating college with a game design degree, it was time for me to build my art career. However, instead of applying to a traditional studio, I decided to go independent from the start, wishing to create my own content. Yet, things did not turn out as I hoped. As stated in my Christmas message, my biggest issue was and still is struggling to get noticed online. Despite putting so much effort into my drawings and posting them in every social media platform in opportune times, engagement has been little to none, especially compared to some of the other artists online who'd get upvotes in the thousands while I'd only get around the low tens. Platforms like Instagram are basically dead to me now, where I barely get any traction. Now, I know what you're thinking. You shouldn't let social media determine the value of your art nor your self-worth as an artist. And yes, you're very correct on that matter. Upvotes on Twitter or Instagram should not be the main reason for making art. That said, when you're trying to make a living as an artist, it's quintessential to get eyes and engagement on your content. But when it appears that your art is just disappearing into the void, especially after so much effort is put into it, it can get very demoralizing. It sure did for me, because after years passed by with no meaningful progress, cracks of doubt began to form. The existing method of just posting art online and hoping people would like them enough to subscribe to my Patreon was not only unsustainable, but also incredibly naive. This also revealed another issue, which was my complete lack of marketing skills, something which many artists actually struggle with. People can complain about the platforms all they like, especially their algorithms. But the truth is, there is a game that must be played on social media where you know the ecosystem well and be strategic about the trends and wants of the audience. But as someone who admittedly sucks at the social media game, my mediocre traction wasn't surprising at all. Still, I persisted and even attempted to make a webcomic series, hoping that a visual narrative would attract more of an audience. Unfortunately, that plan failed spectacularly and will probably be a topic for its own video someday. Suffice it to say, comics are very labor intensive, and it was foolish for me to attempt such an ambitious endeavor all by myself. In other words, I bit off more than I could chew. All of these shortfalls made me really rethink my decision to go through the independent route. For personal reasons, I won't get into too much detail, but long story short, I almost threw in the towel. Yet, deep down, something within me repelled me from doing so. I wasn't ready to give up yet. But at the same time, I also couldn't keep doing the same thing. If I wanted to get out of the rut, there had to be some major changes. Now, before we move further, I do want to give myself some credit by going over what I've done right as well, because you don't want to beat yourself over too much. For one, I can draw, and pretty well at that. I know this is such an obvious point, but if I can't even draw, then all of this would mean nothing and I would have chosen another career long ago. And I may be a decent artist now, but I certainly did not start out as one. It was a huge struggle to draw a single line or to even pick up a pencil sometimes. Just like my struggles with marketing, I had just as many doubts back then, if not more, about my drawing capabilities. But I kept going. I wasn't at the skill level I wanted to be back then, but I knew in time my efforts would pay off. And it sure did. Take a look at this art I made from 2019. And this is me now. Needless to say, I've come a long way and I'm very proud of what I've accomplished. And I realize now that my struggles with marketing is no different from my struggles with drawing all those years ago. Sure, marketing is a different beast, but just like how I learned to draw, it is also a skill that can be learned with enough work and commitment. All that said, as stated earlier, I had to do things differently from before. The old method of just posting art online and praying for engagement clearly wasn't working. Along with my art, I had to provide something else of value that people would actually want to engage in. That's when I decided to turn on my mic and hit record. Now, I never thought in a million years that I'd do YouTube because it always felt out of my league. Something only a lucky few had the privilege of doing. Even doing it as a hobby was not something I ever entertained because I've always been nothing more than a lurker on this site. But two people encouraged me to become a creator myself. First, a YouTuber named Starfishface, and second, my best friend and brother from another mother. Back in Christmas of 2023, I remember watching a video from Starfishface titled How YouTube Changed My Life. In the video, she essentially credits YouTube for her success as an artist today, given its better algorithm than other platforms like TikTok and Instagram, as well as other site features that led more people to her platforms outside of YouTube. But the algorithm part especially touched me because it highlighted my qualms about platforms like Twitter and Instagram, and how YouTube's different structure alleviated a lot of those issues. For one, a YouTube video has a much longer lifespan than a tweet or an Instagram post. Even after the initial spike of engagement slows down after a video's upload, it still gets consistent views afterwards, and sometimes an old video is recommended by the algorithm and can suddenly go viral, bringing another spike of views and engagement. Meanwhile, a tweet or an Instagram post will only stay relevant for about a day before disappearing into the endless sea of old content. For me, this was proven when a silly clip of my Helltaker fan comic suddenly went viral about a month after its initial upload. When I first uploaded in April, it only gained under 100 views, but sometime in early May, the views suddenly climbed to 70,000 over the span of a week, which subsequently gave me over 200 subs within the same time span. That experience showed me two things. One, my channel could be more than just a backlog for my art. Second, YouTube might be the solution I've been looking for all along. That said, the next question was what kind of videos I'd make. As thankful and impressed as I am about the short clip's viral moment, I also got very lucky and feel that was a one-hit wonder. The rest of the videos on my channel were just mere speed paint recordings of my Helltaker art, and their views were barely in the tens. I needed something that not only got people's attentions but also kept them watching. That's when my best friend and brother from another mother comes in. He and I go way further back, but one of the things we both love to do in our downtime is to discuss the lore of various media we both enjoy. To give you an example, we spent an entire evening discussing the lore of Halo, going down the most obscure rabbit holes. One day, after I told him I started doing YouTube, my best friend suggested that I take our lore discussions and put them into video format alongside my speed paints. Similar to art commentary channels, but without any of the dumb drama. I really doubted this at first, but to paraphrase him, you clearly have a lot of interesting thoughts and you know how to articulate them. Just turn them into a video format and add them alongside what you're already making. People enjoy listening to interesting conversations, so you will definitely gain an audience that enjoys what you make. Still, there were additional doubts as I've never edited videos before, and I was also really conscious about my own voice. But at this point, given all the aforementioned shortfalls, I had nothing to lose and went through with it. I started off with very simple videos with minimal editing, and since I was known for my Helltaker art, I made the topic about Helltaker, such as why I made Helltaker fan arts and trying to sell why each Helltaker girl is worth it. I honestly did not expect much interest at first, since the fandom as a whole didn't seem to care much about the intricate lore of a casual game about hot demon girls. But to my surprise, a decent amount of people not only enjoyed them, but also engaged by responding with their own inputs in the comments. By then, I found my calling within YouTube. That said, some of you might think that YouTube videos require a lot more time and effort than a tweet or an Instagram post, therefore the former is a more difficult path. Indeed, that is correct. Aside from shorts, a full YouTube video, even short ones, require proper recording, editing, and scripting if you're speaking. That said, to me it is worth the effort because these long-form content fit my style better. Furthermore, while I struggle to gain a sliver of engagement on other platforms like Twitter or Instagram, YouTube has not only given me a decent audience size, but also a sense of community, which I never got anywhere else. Well, except for the subreddit maybe. But on Twitter, even if a post got decent traction, little to no people ever replied, thus making the engagement look like nothing more than meaningless numbers at the end. Meanwhile, on YouTube, people actually left meaningful comments on my videos, and I've also gained some connections with other creators as well. In summary, YouTube gave me a lot of the things I've been desperately searching for as an artist. And I'm grateful that both Starfish Face and my best friend and brother from another mother encouraged me to give it a try. It's thanks to those two that this channel exists today, so let's type a big W for both of them. Also, Star, if you're watching this by any chance, hi! Thanks again and love your videos! That said, I don't want to dunk on the other platforms too much while portraying YouTube as this perfect platform. Trust me, YouTube has a lot of issues as well, such as its copyright striking rules. And there are many artists who are successful on Twitter and Instagram because those platforms somehow work for them, just like how YouTube works for me. One size does not fit all, and you have to decide what works best for you. Before moving on to my agenda, there's one more thing I'd like to expand in regards to doing things differently. The experiences from my Shortfalls have also taught me the importance of being more than just an artist, especially if one wishes to make it a career. Once again, simply making good art and posting them online is not enough. This is especially pressing today, given how oversaturated the online art community has become, as well as AI disrupting the whole market. Artists, especially independent ones, must know how to properly market themselves if they wish to not only be seen, but also stand out from others. No matter how amazing an artist's creations are, if they never see the light of day, they just disappear into the proverbial void of irrelevance. Even artists working in traditional studios need secondary skills like excellent communication to meet the needs of art directors and clients. The extremely talented individuals who succeed with purely artistic skills alone are very rare, and I'm humble enough to accept that I am not one of them. But that's okay, because I don't need to be, as I have found my own footing towards success. And thanks to YouTube, I have learned new skills and discovered I could be more than just an artist. That I could also edit videos, write scripts, record voiceovers, and of course, make silly impressions. SpongeBob, what the hell are you doing in my house? Get the fuck out of here! And I intend to use these skills on top of my art to make entertaining content for you on this channel. So, now that we've caught up on the story so far, here are my channel plans and goals for 2025. Schedule-wise, you will see at least 2 videos from me every month. As someone who's still figuring out YouTube, works full-time, as well as working on other activities like my art, I'd like to start on a manageable level. I'd like to focus on being reliably consistent and avoid burnout. Growth-wise, my resolution for this year is to reach 1,000 subscribers on this channel. As you can guess, I'd like to monetize this channel as the first step to make this my living. So far, my subscriber growth has been slow, but also steady, with occasional spikes of new subs whenever a new video is successful. Therefore, I am optimistic of this resolution. Content-wise, I will continue to create commentaries about various topics with speed paints in the background. People seem to really enjoy my ongoing series of selling each girl of Helltaker and its formatting, so I will keep moving in that direction. That being said, however, I would also like to expand to other topics as outlined in my New Year channel intro. I don't want to restrict myself to doing only Helltaker content and nothing else. There's only so much to talk about in a casual minigame about hot demon girls. Helltaker does not have a proper lore, narrative, or world like Star Wars or Fallout, which really does limit the amount of content you can make out of it. Even my current Helltaker series is heavily reliant on fan games like Second Circle. This is also why I plan to move this channel beyond Helltaker eventually, because honestly, I'm running out of things to talk about. Now, I'm guessing many of my subscribers followed me for Helltaker content, so I'm sorry to disappoint some of you. But I hope you understand my perspective, and I am informing you of this now to lay out the expectations early on. Before I move on from Helltaker, however, here are some of the Helltaker videos I've planned in the future. But if you have any other ideas for a Helltaker video, please let me know in the comments below. Even if I plan on moving out eventually, that's not to say we can't extend this journey as much as possible. So please, comment below what kind of Helltaker video you would like to see from me. Lastly, speaking of moving on, I would like to turn this channel into something bigger. This year, T.E. Laurence will not just be a YouTube channel, but a world of its own, as well as a gateway to other worlds. There will be new settings, characters, and journeys for you to partake in. I won't spoil too much, but you will see the new developments sprinkled in throughout this new year. Therefore, along with a steady stream of content, this channel will go through a massive overhaul to lay out the foundation for years to come. So, I hope you're excited by all of this, because I certainly am, and can't wait to begin work. Some of you are probably thinking, Laurence, I would like to help you with this endeavor. How can I support you? Why, thank you, most gracious viewers. Here are ways you can support me as well as where else you can find me. First, the best way you can support me is to simply subscribe to this channel and watch my videos. That's it. As stated before, my goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers this year so I can hopefully become monetized and make a living from this. For that reason, YouTube will also become my main platform now. Everything I do from now on will be done here, so if you want to keep up with it, please stick around here. But if you would like to take the extra step and support me beyond giving me a sub, I also have a Patreon where you can give a monthly pledge of the tier of your choosing, as well as a Ko-Fi where you can donate a coffee. Your support will be greatly appreciated, and it will allow me to come even closer to making this a living, as well as purchase new editing software and gear to produce even better content for you. So thank you in advance. As for the other platforms, I'm also pretty active on DeviantArt, which is where I got started with my art journey. Before I began YouTube, DeviantArt was my main platform to post my artwork, and still do because I've developed a small but tight community there. And for my DeviantArt followers who've crossed over here, I want to be very clear. I am not leaving DeviantArt, nor will I stop making any art in favor of videos. I am still an artist at heart, and that will never change. Instead, my art will be more involved and utilized into my YouTube channel. Therefore, it's more of a matter of the two platforms crossing over as opposed to leaving one for the other. So don't worry, I ain't going anywhere. Now, I do also have the likes of Twitter and Instagram, but as mentioned before, due to my qualms with said platforms, I will no longer be as active on them. Since I barely get any traction over there anyways, it's pretty clear they're no longer worth the time and effort. I don't know, maybe I've been using Twitter the wrong way this entire time. Who knows? But I also don't really like what it's become nowadays, especially a lot of the negativity and drama. I'll still post updates for new videos and art, but I won't engage beyond that, which honestly is probably better off for my mental health anyways. Besides, I found something better in the form of YouTube, so this will be my new home from now on. Before we wrap this up, I would like to give some finishing thoughts. My journey as an artist has been filled with many ups and downs, with the last couple years being mostly downs, unfortunately. As mentioned in my Christmas message, the biggest issue and frustration has been struggling to get noticed online, which is why I felt like I've been screaming into the void. Therefore, as hope dwindled, I almost gave up on all of this back in early 2024. The feeling of being perpetually stuck like this for the rest of my life made me consider a choice I never wanted to entertain, which was to just give up on my art dream. That maybe I'm just not cut out for this. That I should just throw in the towel and look for another career while relegating art to a mere hobby. Along with many other personal life issues that began piling up, I really felt like I was getting backed into a wall. And for that reason, 2024, at least the first half, was quite miserable for me. Still, in spite of all these doubts, deep down, something within me told me that giving up was the wrong choice, and that the fight still wasn't over. That and someone very close to me gave me a metaphorical slap in the face to snap me out of my doomer thoughts, so I have him to thank for that as well. Sincerely. Therefore, in spite of the specter of doubts, I did not throw in the towel and continued to push through. I widened my horizons to see what else I could do on top of my art, and thankfully, I discovered doing YouTube, which has now become my main engine for growth. Just like how I overcame the hurdles of learning to draw, I'm confident I will also overcome the hurdles of marketing through YouTube. So thank you, YouTube, for reigniting that spark of hope and allowing me to endure through those rough patches of 2024. And thank you to all of you for enjoying my art and videos and reminding me that I am not screaming into the void. Last but not least, I have a heartfelt message for my fellow artists and creators. I know some of you are going through the same struggles that I've been describing, so I empathize with all of you. You are not alone. But if there's one takeaway I want you to have from this video, it is once again to be more than just an artist. Keep making what you're passionate about, but also widen your horizons and find out what else you could do to supplement it. As stated earlier, it is not enough to just make good art and pray for success. I wasted so much time doing exactly that and got nowhere, so don't be like me. Whether your goal is to market yourself better or just make more money, learn and apply other skills to your art, just like how I implemented my artwork into my YouTube channel. I know some of you may find this difficult, as I've seen many one-dimensional artists who think of themselves as only artists and nothing else, and therefore try to succeed with artistic skill alone. Please save yourself from unnecessary hardship and avoid that route. Yes, skill and hard work are important, but it's also important to be strategic and efficient about it. In other words, don't just work harder, but also smarter. So give it a try, because it might just give you the boost you've been looking for, and you're a lot more capable than you might think. I started YouTube knowing absolutely nothing about video making, and look where I am now. Whether it's YouTube or something else, there are many opportunities out there to aid your artwork and you as an artist, for an art career is much broader and more flexible than people think. So good luck to you, and may you find the right path to success. And that wraps up my first state of the channel, ladies and gentlemen. 2024 may have been rough for me, but I also have learned a lot of valuable lessons, thanks to which I've started this channel. Therefore, while 2024 was the year for learning and humility, 2025 will be the year of growth and positive change. And thanks to these developments, I'm confident that better days are still ahead. Right now, I am still a nobody. Right now, I'm still a small fry in this massive ocean of content. But with one step at a time, day by day, I'm confident that success will come for me and all of you as well. For me, it begins with the road towards 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And I hope you will stick around and join me in this exciting journey. Let's make 2025 a great year, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening, and until next time. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon for supporting this channel. My $5 patrons are Kapitan Sladek and Kidzap. My $2 patrons are Komida the Prep Cook Demon. If you would like to appear at the end credits of my videos, as well as have early access and exclusive content on Patreon, feel free to hop on over to patreon.com/LTELawrence and give a pledge. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you would like to see my artwork as well, feel free to check out my other platforms like DeviantArt for my entire gallery. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is T. Lawrence signing out. Have a good one.